this is where things get interesting. Because when it comes to NHL goaltenders, it's a pretty common trend to see the guys that are at the top of the NHL get paid money that signifies that they're at the top of the NHL. But the thing about this pattern is that it normally takes a few years to really put a goalie in that spot. Like, you can't just have 1 year where you have a .920 save percentage and all of a sudden, boom, you're getting a $7, $8, $9 million contract. It's not normally like that. Usually, for guys in this position, you get yourself this reputation that builds over time. And for a guy like this one, we're going to be talking about today on the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuyck, you could debate that with the resume of talent he has produced over the past few years, you could say, hey, he's the best or one of the best goalies in the NHL. Maybe just one of. It's tough to label down a definitive best year by year. But in the conversation of goalies that carry the league, in the conversation of goalies that are at the top of the awards charts, every time the season begins, you want to place your bets on futures. Connor Hellebuyck is normally there. And when it comes to other goalies who have developed a reputation like this, you've got the Carey Prices of the world, you've got the Bobrovskys of the world, $10+ million guys, 8-digit guys. These players normally get themselves a lot of money. And when it comes to that aforementioned Connor Hellebuyck, he is an expiring free agent to be, meaning that his entire situation with the extension process might see him making a significant dollar amount too. Hellebuyck is 30 years old, 6'4", 207, a good goaltender, signed to the end of 2024, making $6.16 million a year. This previous season, he had a .920 save percentage after multiple seasons of posting up .924, .922. He had a few down years in there, but in the postseason, Hellebuyck had still shown off pretty well. Aside from this season, I guess. He also had a Vezina to his name. He has had Vezina nominations in the past. He has been a very solid goalie and one of the best goalies in the NHL to boot. But when it comes to that extension process, it's already been confirmed by other NHL insiders and different mediums that Connor Hellebuyck has no desire to re-sign a contract with the Jets. And when it comes to the Jets entering some sort of a rebuild, you've got rumors floating around there that they might buy out Blake Wheeler, you've got Dubois trade rumors, Scheifele trade rumors, and now Connor Hellebuyck trade rumors. The entire conversation has opened to the yard sale that is going to be the Winnipeg Jets, and where players on this team could ultimately end up. In today's video, what I wanted to do was go over onto a segment of TSN Insider Trading. I'm pretty sure if you're in Canada here, you're familiar with the insider trading program. It's just a whole bunch of talking heads going out there and talking about rumors. And on the latest edition from yesterday, you had yourselves Pierre LeBrun that had himself a very interesting segment regarding this Connor Hellebuyck. We're going to leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and watch the video analysis of what is said, but this tweet from Alex Chauvancy goes out there and summarizes it pretty well. Pierre LeBrun says on Insider Trading that the New Jersey Devils are among the teams that Hellebuyck would be interested in signing an extension with. New Jersey has had talks with the Jets, but what the Devils and other teams are wary of is paying Connor Hellebuyck Vasilevsky-type money. $9.5 million AAV, which is what he is asking. For New Jersey, would that work with their cap situation? LeBrun says the price would have to come down for the Devils to get more involved. And disregarding the Devils and their cap situation for now, let's just talk about firstly the fit, Hellebuyck in New Jersey, and then talk about the money separately. Just go over Hellebuyck in the context of the league, in the context of Vasilevsky, and how the $9.5 million number comes about. Firstly, when you talk about the Devils and their goaltending situation, I think it goes without saying that Connor Hellebuyck is an upgrade over Mackenzie Blackwood. He is an upgrade over Akira Schmid, as much as people like Akira Schmid, and Vitek Vanacek. But with these guys already on the team, Mackenzie Blackwood needs a deal. Schmid is expiring next year. He's on his ELC right now, and Vanacek is making $3.4 million against the cap per year until 2025. if you're going to take the $4 million-ish and add on maybe Mackenzie Blackwood's X amount of dollars there, and supplement that with a 9.5 AAV deal, you're probably putting yourself in trouble when it comes to the salary cap side of things, but when it comes to just the pure on-ice performance, I mean, Connor Hellebuyck is a very talented goalie. The Devils are a very talented team. You could debate that goaltending is one of the areas where they could stand to improve. Not that Schmidt or Vanacek are particularly terrible, it's just you've got high-flying offense, you've got good defenders. A number one goalie who is a definitive number one, his reputation around the league is that he is a number one, that's not going to hurt you at all. So from a practicality point of view, just looking at the player and the team, this is a good fit. Not to say that the Devils lost in the playoffs this year because of goaltending in particular, but having a good goalie would definitely make their team better as they ascend to greater highs, with Jack Hughes potentially getting a 100-point season, Nico Hischier, Luke Hughes, everybody else in the system doing their thing. It's just the money. That's the other conversation we need to have. Because when it comes to Andrei Vasilevsky, the guy whom Connor Hellebuyck is seemingly comparing himself to, dollar amount-wise at least, Vasilevsky has a Vezina to his name too. But he's also got 2 Stanley Cups and 4 Stanley Cup Finals appearances. Keep in mind, the first time he went to the Stanley Cup Finals, which was in 2016, cannot forget about that, he had a .925 save percentage. Sure, he only played 8 games, there was Ben Bishop, but he was still there. Next season, in the Stanley Cup Finals 2020, .927 save percentage. Stanley Cup Finals 2021, .937 save percentage. 2022 Stanley Cup Finals, .922 save percentage. Vasilevsky has been the epitome of consistency, and he has always stepped up and been the guy to beat in these playoffs. Connor Hellebuyck, unfortunately, cannot say the same thing. Not that he doesn't have the resume, he has had very good numbers statistically in the past, it's just, look at the results, the wins and the losses. Tampa Bay makes the finals every gosh darn year. Winnipeg, I mean, they get swept by Montreal, they get embarrassed by Vegas. It's not great, and you cannot say that the straight-up results are reminiscent of Vasilevsky. Now, of course, I get it, team plays a part in that. Tampa Bay has been a better team than Winnipeg, but part of the reason Tampa Bay was even able to win all these playoff series is because, once in a while, when you needed him to do it the most, Vasilevsky would steal you the series. And I can't really recall any series. If anybody wants to correct me in the comments, feel free to go out there and do so. I can't recall any series where Connor Hellebuyck was the reason the series even went Winnipeg's way. You know? Like, I can recall Thatcher Demko, Vancouver versus Vegas 2020 bubble second round. How Demko came in and allowed the Canucks to force a Game 7. He was the reason that happened. You could say Vasilevsky, the reason Tampa Bay beat Toronto in the series last year. Not the most previous one, but the one before that. You could say Vasilevsky stole the Islanders series. Both of the Islanders series, maybe. There have been times in the past where Vasilevsky proves that he is worth that dollar amount. And sure, the money is the money. There are guys making more than him, like Carey Price, Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky was one of the best goalies in the NHL for a significant period of time. Carey Price had literally the best goalie season we have seen this decade a few years ago, where he won the Hart and the Lindsay and all that, so there's a reason he got that money too. And then you have yourselves, of course, even Carey Price going to the gosh darn Stanley Cup Finals, him carrying the Habs the multiple times they found themselves into the playoffs. So when it comes to the dollar amount, I don't know if Connor Hellebuyck, based off of his, I don't want to say accomplishments, but success in the postseason, I don't want to say that he is worth that $9.5 million, but if you just go by pure talent level, consistency, ceiling, and regular season efficiency, then sure, you can pay Connor Hellebuyck as much as the top-paid goalie in the NHL. It's just, if that $9.5 million AAV, is the number that he wants, then it's very apparent that the Devils, a team in which Connor Hellebuyck reportedly is okay with going to, might not shell out that dollar. So, who really knows what's going to happen next? It's just interesting to see that New Jersey is on his list of teams he'd be okay with signing. So if you're a fan of the Devils, a fan of the Jets, what are your thoughts on the idea of Connor Hellebuyck heading over? How do you see things going should this be the case, and do you think this is going to happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Rolls 99. And bye.